TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing
I feel like I'm sliding out of it.
Hello and welcome to Talk Show Divas, where we are located in Douglasville, Georgia, and we want to give a special shout out to our executive producer, Felix Washington, and our social media director, Shantae Barksdale. All right, ladies, let the divas introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Lady D.
Hi, I'm Roselle Pompey.
I'm Shayla.
And so we're going to start with the topic today. And today we're going to talk about how the grand jury have arrested the officer for Breonna Taylor's death. And so just give me your output on what do you think about that, Lady D?
I think that it should have been happened when he first killed this lady. And not just that, all the things that's been going on with social media, with all these cops and all that stuff right there, that should have been number one, to arrest him, investigate, and do the right things. Because if you really read about it, this man had resigned from somewhere else and came right back to Kentucky and got a job.
What? A job?
A job.
So what do you think, Ms. Roselle?
So let's take a couple of steps back, right? The cops that killed Breonna Taylor were not indicted. So they took it to the grand jury, and the only thing that was the officer that was charged was a felony for shooting the next door neighbors, endangering the neighbors.
Endangering the neighbors, but not actually
killing her
for Breonna's death.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So that's where the outrage is coming. We don't know what was presented to the grand jury, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. The attorney general is not being transparent about that. Why did it take so long for this to be presented to the grand jury in the first place? And also, the fact of the matter that he kept stating during his press conference that he's a black man, what does that have to do with anything? You're not doing your job. Do your job. Do your job and do your job well. And that's the expectation right there. You should have, first and foremost, act sooner, be more transparent with what was presented to the grand jury, because we don't know We don't even know the demographics of who was on the grand jury. We don't even know if anything at all was presented to them. And also, why are we just paying attention and focusing on the neighbors being endangered?
So what do you think?
I just feel like they failed her. Like women of color has to be protected a little bit more than they are. It has to be taken seriously. It shouldn't matter what the color of her skin is. She's a female. And there's a lot of females that didn't get justice the way that they were supposed to get justice. I'm thinking that it may have something to do with the settlements. Like, is that a reason why, like, they feel like they bought them, that they don't have to take it seriously?
Right. I really think it's about money as well. It's about money, it's about power, and it's about control. And basically, that's how the system is set up. You know, and it don't have to be Breonna Taylor. You have to think about Sandra Bland.
Right, exactly.
You know, she was a woman that was just pulled over for a traffic ticket, and it resulted into her death. So it can be something just that simple, where your life can just be taken away
But with
because
that,
of those three things: money, power, and control.
and with that being said, I mean, they're not going to get Brianna back. And this man, his charges wasn't. What charges are those? He could only serve a year to 5 years in jail, and if he on good terms there, he could be out in less time than that year, in less time than them 5 years.
Right.
So there's no justice at all. Even though the 12 million wasn't even part for this girl's life.
I
At
think
all.
she deserved a
They
$1
deserve
million
more, yeah.
for every year that she was on earth, due to the fact that she played a very positive part with being a positive citizen. You know, she gave back to the community. She was actually in law enforcement. She was a paramedic, you know, so she gave back to the community. So her life was meaningful, you know, and it's just a tragedy that, you know, it happened, and not only did it happen, but it happened in the comfort of your own safety net, your own home.
Yeah.
And where was the background check for him? If you did
Exactly.
something in another town and you can come in another town and get a job, where was the background check for him?
Well, I mean, they are supposed to do background checks, but the concern is that I feel like this is a cover-up. Because they're not being transparent with what was presented to the grand jury, if anything was presented to the grand jury. We don't know. And the governor of Kentucky and the mayor of Louisville are asking for the attorney general to present to the community, to us, the world, what actually took place in the grand jury. We don't know. We don't know, and to me, it's a total disgrace. He didn't do his job. And what are you covering up? There's something deeper that we're not aware of.
Well, they married to somebody,
Let me
right?
tell you what the deep part is. The deep part is, I don't think of it more so of a cover-up. I think it more so of what it is. It goes back to when I had my incidents with law enforcement. It's more so of a hush to make them be quiet.
Yep.
They, you know, when they offer you $12 million for your loved one that was wrongfully murdered, do you really consider that's the right amount of money that's worth her life? No, it's to say, well, hey, okay, yeah, we made a mistake, we were wrong, and we know that we were wrong, and okay, well, do you think this is enough for you to be quiet about it?
Right.
No, absolutely
never
not.
enough. It's never enough. Not for a life. It's never
No, I'm
enough.
just saying that's
You
what
know.
it's about, though. It's about quieting the noise.
Yeah.
But why?
Because see, they can't keep going on and on and on without making it look like that we're getting some type of justice. But we already know, no justice, no peace.
Right. They want to hush people up from like the riots and stuff because they want to make it seem like they are taking steps to do it.
They are taking
But I
steps.
feel like police officers, if you have like a violent background of any, especially if it's being investigated, you should no longer be on the line, and you shouldn't be able to be in the field or something, at least without some type of therapy, some type of something So they're not doing
Or 2 or more
anything.
complaints.
Right.
But they already covering that up because a lot of times now, all this stuff is coming out on how, well, we complained about you 13 times, 14 times, and nothing never happened.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now everything's coming out that all this writing and all that. So now everything's coming out, well, he did this or he has this many accounts. He has this many accounts. He has all this against him, but nothing was never done
Right. So
until now.
how do we know that there's going to be true reform then?
Yeah.
So it's like the community, that's why we, the community, need to hold everybody accountable
Yes.
for what they say they're going to do. And if they don't do it, that's why we go and vote them out. Then we educate ourselves. First
Yeah.
we educate who we're voting for.
Right.
Then we go and vote. Then we follow up with voting. It doesn't stop there. You have to become involved with your community, and not wait for somebody else to do it. Attend your local community meetings, your
Meetings,
board
right.
meetings. Be involved, be vocal, do what you got to do to make sure that we're watching. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, which is your job, you're a public servant. We pay taxes to make sure that we have these services. And if these
And that
services
they
are not
are
being
available.
provided,
That's right.
Yeah.
then we need to find somebody who can do it. Because I bet you if you go on your job and you don't perform well, you will be
Out the
told, thank
door.
you very much, but we no longer need your services. So
Exactly.
why is it that we don't do that for public servants? And police are supposed to protect and serve. We need to also make sure that they understand that. It's not about covering up. Yes, you have to do an investigation, but make sure that there are procedures and policies set in so that this is a normal course of business that is happening in police departments across the country.
And I agree. And not only that, but when it comes to the role that the police officers, they have to protect and serve, that they have to take the extra step when actually executing things and making sure that they crossing their T's and they dotting their I's. Because even when it comes to the case of Breonna Taylor, the guy was already incarcerated. So it is clear to me that they did not complete the investigation or do their diligence with making sure that they are entering at all costs the right way.
And then you got to look at too, when you protecting, you got to also be that second part. Because if I got a partner and you see me doing wrong and I say nothing, I'm just as guilty as you.
Yes, you are.
And you got a lot of them out here that sees that. You know he's wrong, so why aren't you saying anything? Your pledge is to protect as well. But if you're not and you're standing in the blind while you see him doing wrong, then you're just as guilty.
So what that means is if you see something, say something. It is time out for you all covering each other as a brother covering and actually letting go of the wrongdoing and doing what's right, not only by yourself, but for the people. You know, because it's time that the people need to actually trust in you and know that they will be protected and safe.
Right,
you
because
know,
if you're in danger, and you fear the police, then how you want to call somebody that you're also scared of?
correct.
Yes,
Or either you fear of them not coming to the scene and actually doing their job.
Exactly.
You know, I've been in a situation when I was in my hit and run, I was the victim. And instead, my whole family was detained, is what they call it. And the person that hit me was in the car still with a smirk on his face. You know what I'm saying? But what did that leave when you had multiple people calling 911 saying that the lady has been hit and it's a hit and run? He was located at another location and was not properly escorted back to the location where the incident happened. So is that my fault? No. And then you endanger my whole family because of now it's a big uproar. You understand? So that was placed on us not due to our part. It was due to the officers' misconduct of not handling and doing protocol as they supposed to. And that right there endangered my whole family.
Yeah, we need to find a way in which we can have a solution to
Have a
this.
solution and
justice
have
has
it.
to be served.
And
Yes.
listen, I want not only just the solution, but after these messages, we'll be right back. We'll talk about those solutions.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
And yes, welcome back to Talk Show Diva, where I am #Kamala. And so we're going to go on and we're going to talk about that solution. The solution is, how about Carly B and her divorce? Like, I just want to know, why are they sitting right here trying to fault this lady because she's choosing to make another decision off of what she agreed to do, to death do us part? Let me know something, Lady D.
I'm gonna be honest, frankly, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I really don't, because, you know, that's their business. What they do in the privacy of their home, their divorces and all that, that's their business. Our focus should be on something more than Carly B and her husband. They don't been through this how many times? How many times have you cheated? How many times does this goes on, that goes on? That's their business. So I'll let somebody else handle that question, because that's my opinion.
All right,
I don't care.
Rochelle, what do you think? Tell me about Carly B and the
So
divorce.
what I think is that she has such a huge following. People
Yeah.
watch what she does, everything. They want to know, you know, and she's made her career on reality TV before Love and Hip Hop New York. So she's a public figure, and she's putting herself out there. So people want to know. Now, you and I may not be like that interesting.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not.
But I mean, I like her and I appreciate her rap skills. Do I agree with all her lyrics? Not necessarily, but you know, it's catchy and she's what's happening right now.
She's definitely what's happening right now.
But the subject about her divorce is that there's a lot of back and forth going on between her and her attorney. First, they were stating that she wanted child support, and she came out and said no, she doesn't. She said it's not about cheating, that she just wanted to move on, and she wanted to move on without him. And then recently I saw something stating that he didn't like the WAP, the lyrics of the WAP. He was like, that's too much. Why are you doing that? So it's like, okay, but it's okay for you to sexualize me, but I can't do it on
Sexualize
myself.
Yes.
So, but then it leads to, why are we sexualizing
Yourself
us?
anyway.
Yeah. So why does that sell? Why is that popular for me to say WAP?
Well, let me speak on that, because for years, that's what's been popular. For years, that's what's been selling: sex, drugs, and money. That's the popularity line. And sometimes sex is at the #1 list. Well, money is the rule of all evil. Let's get that correct.
Definitely.
You know, but you know, you have to understand that's what rules. And that's what's enticing right now. That's the influence.
I think it's a bigger picture. I mean, like, it's a more modern version, but come on. Back in the day, we had, like, En Vogue, we had Escape, different...
Positive
like,
women groups.
Yeah, like, it's different, like, not the hip-hop beat, but, I mean, it's always
Don't
been
forget
there.
about TLC.
It's just like no woman should be attacked for leaving. If something isn't working for you, then why is she at fault? She didn't do anything wrong. that's what really bothers me. No woman wants to be stuck in a situation that's not healthy for them. Yeah, to death do us part, but if I'm the only one holding up to that and you are not, then why do I have to stay?
But I mean, that's the choice that we make as women. We can either stay or we can go. We can do
Right
like
there.
Tina Turner.
Right there, Lady
Tina
B.
Turner can only take so much than what she did. And she didn't have, what, 36 cents or something in her hand, a pocket? And she went on with her life. That's what we got to do now as women. We can't continue to keep letting men do the things that they do to us. We got to start standing up for ourselves.
Yes, amen.
Because if you
Hallelujah
look at
moment.
it, if we don't stand up, look how many women are getting killed in the hands of men.
Right.
Exactly.
Because we chose to stay, because I love you, because of
because
all
of
of
the
this.
decision
We
of
can't
even-
keep making no decisions on to keep taking the things that we're taking from these men. We don't have to.
Right.
We can either open that door or close that door and stay behind. We choose to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
A man, a man can say, I can make you, a man cannot make you do anything that you do not want to do.
Exactly.
It's up to us as women. If we were just plain women without the money, Carly B sign hanging on our back and all that, then it would be a difference. We just like Carly B, we just broke or don't have the money
Oh,
or
yes,
the fame or the name, but we still got the same opportunity
Same
and stuff
status.
she
Remember
do
that. Yeah,
is
yeah,
to
hashtag.
walk out that door. Because more and more you looking at it every day, more women are getting killed
Yeah,
in the
it's true.
hand of men.
Domestic violence is a real true thing. So having this conversation makes me think, do you think he is jealous of her popularity? Because on Instagram, she has, like in a matter of minutes, 4 million people viewing and liking her stuff.
Yeah.
Could it possibly be that he may be jealous of her fame?
I don't think he's jealous. I just think he's a man, and industry men. Come on now, like we all know how industry men are. It's just,
Well, PSA, not all of them.
yeah, it's just like I just think it's a double standard. So it's okay for men to rap a certain way and to sexualize women and things like that, but when a woman does it, she's at fault, and it's not fair. Why can't she do it as well? It's what's selling. It's what's making her
Her money.
money.
Exactly,
You gotta get
and I
paid.
agree to that. Because it's no difference than when, shout out to 2 Live Crew, when y'all boys was coming out, it's no difference. They was making songs, Band in the USA, y'all know them songs y'all was making that they was like, no, it's too vulgarish, even back then, and they had to change the culture, to where it is today, to where, you can really talk about or rap about or sing about anything you please.
Well, why can't we change the narrative?
I agree. Positive all the way around.
But it doesn't have to necessarily be positive, but I'm saying embrace your sexuality, but I think that our mindset needs to shift a little bit, where
would
we're
you,
not always
So would you
just,
rather for Carly B to say dry or wet?
No,
It
listen.
ain't gonna matter either way. It's still gonna sell.
Whatever.
It's still gonna
I
sell.
just said, what you want her to say, little or big? I mean, what did you, what
Small,
word you want
medium, large, it's still.
I'm not knocking the song.
What word you want her to say?
Correction.
Clean or dirty?
Correction. I'm not knocking the song. I'm just saying, can we have a variety out there? You know, because in the 90s, you had Queen Latifah, you had
I do
NSYNC
love Queen
Live.
Latifah. Shout out to Queen Latifah.
You had a mix. Then you had Little Kim that was coming out with
Little
her
Kim.
stuff. So I'm just saying, why are we
had
just
Millie
just
Jackson. You with
Right.
old stuff.
I said, this before my time, y'all. Before my time.
But we need variety, is what I'm saying.
I
it's
agree.
just one genre within the genre that we're doing. Can we just have like other women be able to make millions of dollars too that are saying something different, more positive?
right.
I
There's
agree.
a lot of people that go unnoticed that's really like
That-
talented.
Yeah.
That they don't talk about sex or anything like that, and they have really good music, but people don't. That's not what they want to hear.
No, that's not what they want to hear. What they want to hear is about that walk.
And then you gotta look at it too. I mean, it's a buffet out there when you're in that limelight. Because no matter what city you go to, it's gonna be somebody coming at you. They don't care if you're married. They don't care if you got a house full of kids. They coming at you.
Or the groupies.
The groupies, they're gonna come at you.
Look at Roselle know about those girls.
And that temptation out there, and no man gonna turn down nothing. Not really. And knowing he married and everything. And look at it now. Mostly all superstars and all that stuff there. Got something extra.
Oh.
Be like, what his name with the side piece?
Entanglement.
Yeah, the side piece.
Wait. The Will and Jada Smith, it was her, right?
It really was her.
She tried to paint that up
With
so
the
bad.
entanglement.
It wasn't the man that time. I agree with Roselle.
But he had his person as well. They had an open agreement, and people are not talking about that. They were separated. He was talking to who he was talking to, and she was talking to who she was talking to.
Right.
When you separated, you're separated.
And
Now,
that's
who
a
we
double
talking about now?
standard.
Will,
Jada.
Will
No,
had-
let's get back on Cardi B and her divorce. Cause
But that's the
let's-
double standard we're talking about in the industry, right?
Yeah.
So if a woman chooses, I don't want to deal with this anymore, I want to move on.
Right.
Everybody's like, well, why? Well, what's the problem? Did he cheat on you? But you accepted him back.
Well, and not necessarily, it don't have to be that he's cheating on me. It could be now I'm in another space in my life where I have grown to where I am, and where I'm going, you just not going.
Possible.
Then I need some of that money to go right on with me too.
Well, when it comes to the money, they pretty much on the same level when it comes to
No, we're not on the same level. It all depends on who's getting out first. If you getting out first, then I'm gonna need some extra in this pocket, boo.
Well, I'm going to say, stay down, y'all. Stay down. Don't do it. Don't do it.
What that song say? Cheaper to keep them. It's cheaper to keep them.
Or let's say this too, y'all. It really could be for the hype. They may not even be really sincere or serious about
true.
getting a divorce.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, it really could be the hype. It could be to get everybody on the edge of their chair. It's to say, ooh, guess what? Carly B and what his name is? Offset. Yeah.
Yes.
Upset.
I'd be like Offset was before.
Well, how you
We was
before?
going that way, and then hey, I come on stage with the flowers and all this stuff here, all getting all the people excited. Cause
Oh,
I'm,
yeah, when he came back.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
mean,
we
their-
on to you. We on to your Cardi B and
their
Offset.
whole relationship could be planned. Maybe she decided, I want to have a baby. You're a member of the
Oh, so now
hottest
you-
rap group
Look, hold
in
on,
the
wait a minute.
world.
Wait a minute, Roselle. So now you taking it back to Jocelyn and Stevie J.
Hey, it's possible. We don't know. It could be something. Let's do this Hollywood couple thing.
Yeah.
And then stay together for a couple of years, and then we just go our separate
Part our
ways. Who knows?
But hey, we just gonna say shout out to Carly B and Offset on y'all thing, whether if you do or you don't. Hey,
It's y'all business.
and ain't nothing like having two people that's powerful and strong and able to, you know, even at the end of separation, to come together to see what they're gonna do.
But see, when you got kids involved, that puts a lot on that kid. I mean,
People
Well,
don't
it
think
can.
of
they
that.
don't
It's a
realize that.
possibility of
It
it.
takes a lot on those kids. Even with Will and Jada. Now her son, 15, got his own apartment.
Well,
It's a
hey,
lot he couldn't take no more.
well, let me say this. When it comes to that, if you choose, then look, because in my house there's rules as well. So if you choose that you're at the age where you don't want to abide by these rules, then yes, you can be 10. We got the money, we're going to put you over there.
I just feel like they didn't
Because
take
you
into
have to
cons-
follow rules.
Yeah,
It
but when
wasn't
you
necessary
broadcast
about the
certain stuff,
rules.
it's
It was a
embarrassment.
lot
The boy
on
probably
him,
was
yeah.
embarrassment. What Will and Jada probably showed, like we
Hold
won't
on, wait
see.
a minute now. You talking about embarrassment? When he
Yes.
started wearing dresses,
But
that
what
should
if
have
he
been
had a
enough.
mental
No,
breakdown,
that's not
though?
embarrassment. I mean,
He got it
he's
for a
going
check,
through a
though.
lot.
If somebody
yeah.
pay,
You
pay
can't blame
me,
a kid.
you know, money
You
for-
cannot blame a kid for the stages that they go through.
Right.
They got a lot that they looking up to and a lot that they're looking at.
They-
And for your parents to be, especially your mother, first of all, he was there to see her daughter. Then next thing you know, he putting on Instagram and all that he don't slept with you and been with you. How you think that daughter felt, that son felt? I mean, it's a lot on kids
Mentally.
that you're not realizing what you're doing
And
to
so
them.
basically what we're saying is, Carly B, before you make any decision, make sure you consider baby girl culture before you even make any decision. Because at the end of the day, y'all two are grown, y'all can take care of yourselves, and y'all two will be okay. But you have to recognize that culture matters as well.
Yeah, you have to put them kids
You have to make
involved.
sure
Yeah.
that you acknowledge your children when going through. And I do agree with that because
'cause that put a lot
it
on
may
them.
not even affect them now, you know, at a young age, but it can early on in life. And when we'll be back after these messages.
World exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time.
Hello, and yes, welcome back to Talk Show Divas, where we are on our Diva-ish, and we would like to give a special shout out to our executive producer, Felix Washington, as well as Miss Shantae Barksdale. We thank you so much for handling our social media. So let's get to this topic, you guys. We're going to talk about this Cobb County man. He was sentenced to 40 years, right, doing a disturbing sextortion, and it was involving 150 young girls.
Wow.
150 girls. He was 25 years old, and they say he may do, a couple of years in prison, like, what, 4? And that's it? Like 4 decades in prison? But I think, what do you think about that? About 150 young girls?
I think us parents got to do a better job with monitoring our kids, because there are predators that are out there that are on purpose looking for young girls who are developing, and may have low self-esteem. So they come on and say, hey, send me a sexy pic or send me a nude. I mean, grown women get asked that question too.
They
right?
surely do.
So we all could be subject to that, where someone would say, okay, I'm going to give me some money and I'll be quiet, I won't tell anybody. But it's a problem. We should be fully aware that sending nudes can come back and bite you. But we have to put in measures to protect our children that will prevent that from coming out, like security measures I'm talking about. On an internet setting where
And I agree.
anything crazy on the phone or on the computer gets blocked.
And I agree, because recently, due to social media, I experienced, people hitting you on the DM. That means direct message. And you don't even have to have a phone number. You don't have to have any of that information. You go straight from the social media site, press call, and it's calling your phone directly.
Right.
And then you pick up, not knowing who the person is, what's going on the other side. That could literally be doing some stuff on the other side of the phone.
Wow.
And so it's really not about age. It's about, like you said, the security and our safety.
Yeah.
It's so broad now to where those things can just reach us so easily now.
Yeah.
But it's no security at all to me, because you know
Exactly.
what? People nowadays, they can put your name in and have your street address, where you stay, and now they got it where they can even show a photo of your house.
Yes, instant
Or show a
message.
photo of your
image.
house. So where's security at?
I just feel like kids personally shouldn't be exposed to social media at a young age anyway. I mean, I feel like now it's a little more modern and there's not as much rules as back in the day, but I just feel like people have to start watching their kids, not just hush them up and give them the phone and allow them to go in the room and not know what's going on. I feel like parents have to have talks that are uncomfortable with children. You are aware of what's going on, so you want to prepare your children. Just like you say, you want to prepare your black kids growing up to be aware of police stuff that's going on. You have to have other uncomfortable talks with your kid too, because how are they going to know that something is going on if you don't tell them?
Right.
It's your job as a parent to guide your child, to not for you to protect them, but for them to be able to protect themselves as well.
As well, and especially for when they see it and you're not around.
Yeah, and but look, most of the kids, I remember when my son was 9, 10 years old, he got a cell phone, and I was not happy about that. But the rationale that his dad and his aunt had was he has a lot of things going on. We need to coordinate with him
So we're
for
able to
after school.
communicate.
Yes, but I'm like, he's 9 and 10. We know where he is. He's at school. We pick him up to go to the activities. You stand. What happened to meet me at this pole right here at 5 o'clock? You be there or be square or get your spanking if you don't, or whatever. I'm not promoting that, but I'm saying you tell your kids
To be,
to be
where I
at a
tell
certain
you to
place,
be.
and then they're there, and you get picked up. So I'm with you. I think kids are getting the phones and the laptops and the iPads way too early.
They're getting the exposure too
and they're
early.
very savvy, and then they go places where they're not supposed to go. And these predators are aware of that. And they're going in asking these girls, nobody's paying attention to them in school. People are bored, which is a concept which I find is interesting. They're bored and they want to go on there and say, oh, I'm talking to this older guy and he thinks I'm sexy and beautiful. I'm going to send him these pictures. And then he's extorting you because he's saying, give me money and I won't tell your parents.
Or give me
But
money
see,
and I
that-
want to send this picture all over the world.
That's
Exactly.
just like the young lady that I haven't really followed up on to see have they found her. The girl that went to Florida, remember her kid, and they found the baby, but not the mother. And she left Georgia to go to Florida, and she met somebody online. That's how she ended up in Florida, because she met somebody online, and she was going to meet him. Now, whether they found her body or found her or not, I don't know, because I haven't really just read back up on it. But then, too, I looked at a movie, and the janitor at the school kidnapped a child. So, as far as having a phone, I agree that at a certain age you shouldn't, but then, too, at this day and age, I'd rather for my kid to have a phone. Because if something happens, or you'll never know when you're stuck in traffic, or you
Or
can't
if
get
somebody
to
is
your
actually
kid and
trying.
stuff, then you need to be able to call your kid if they're standing outside waiting on you, because sometimes teachers leave.
Yeah,
Right.
or if, in case of somebody really
So
trying
you really do need to have a phone. But
to
you
snatch
got,
you from a spot. You know where you
So-
say
I just
meet me at.
feel like internet and stuff should be blocked off. The only thing a child needs a phone for is to make calls,
Yeah.
and that's it. As far as internet, especially when you're in school, what do you need to be on the internet or Facebook or anything on in school? You're supposed to be focused on your work, and that's the problem with like test rates and stuff these days, because kids are so wrapped up into the phone. School is even not being taken seriously. Especially with this coronavirus and everything going on. Sleep schedules are whack. You have kids on the phone all night. Back in the day, I had to get off the phone at 7 o'clock. Now kids are on the phone till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and then have to wake back up to go to school.
Because they know their parents are asleep. They got to get up and go to work. So there's nobody to monitor you unless they just take the phone from
Right,
you.
exactly.
But when virtual schooling started, they arrested a couple of people on there for sexual things toward kids, and it just got started.
Yeah, but you
So-
got to think about it. Now they know that kids are online.
Yeah, and they're
Now they know that they are
interfering with their
online.
work and everything, trying to get their attraction. And a lot of times they do. And I work at a school, and like I go in the classroom. Sometimes the kids ain't even doing their classwork. They on YouTube.
They doing something else
Exactly.
other than doing their work. And
And
so that makes
my
it
fear
more.
is that they're not going to learn anything this year. That's my fear, because there's so much interaction online and all this stuff here that's taking them away from their
That's the
learning and what they
curriculum.
need to do. 'Cause that means that you got to stand over them stand behind their backs to watch them do what they need to do.
I just think phones should be locked up. Like when you're in school, like, I mean, they used to have it where you put your phones in a basket and they give it
Yeah.
to you at the end of class or something. But it just, everybody plays a part. When, like, the parents are not there and you send your kids into school or with someone else, it's that person's, like, job to look over them and make sure that they are okay and protected and stuff. But as long as the kids are allowed to be exposed, Lord knows what's going to happen. They don't know that that man behind there is going to do something to them.
Right.
They just hear, hey, well, he's going to give me money. I have to do this. Because they never had that conversation with their parents about it. They don't know what it is. So that's why I said that parents have to start making having uncomfortable talks with your children. You may not be comfortable about it, and you may think you protecting your child by not talking about it, but you're not.
Yeah, and you need to, because if not, then that's why we have a case of 150 young girls being sextorted. Because for one, I believe if it really was that many, that they really wasn't watched.
Right.
You know, they were not, they couldn't have been watched, because you got to think about it, like 100, that's a lot of young girls.
Right. So do you agree with the 40-year sentence that he's?
I personally do not agree with 40 years. I would go back to like what I was saying with Breonna Taylor. I would consider 150 years because it was 150 young women.
Yeah, a year for each one.
A year for each one. You know,
Yes.
so like, what are your real outlook on the value of life or the value of taking the innocence of someone?
I want to know that they make
Because
him,
you definitely can't get that innocence back.
is he a registered sex offender?
He
That's
will
what
be.
I want to know.
Yeah,
A
he
registered
will
sex
be.
offender. It should have been that he should have never been able to get out of there again
Yeah,
and
but
do it to no other
And he
young
what?
woman.
40 years from now, he'll be 65,
Which means he can still get out and do it again.
and he will be registered as a sex offender
But
until he
then-
dies.
Yeah.
But my thing is, 40 years for that. But there's people who are look at, and then you compare to Breonna Taylor, where the cops killed her
And took her life.
and are not charged with anything. But I'm not saying, I know it's apples to oranges, but they are quick to sentence us with major, huge sentences, like 40 years for extortion, versus you could take a life and walk away because I'm a cop.
Well, on that note, you know, I really just don't think that was enough.
I
Not-
don't either.
The reason why I say, because like I was saying, like when it comes to the innocence of the children, he have taken away something that they can never receive
I agree.
again. They've been stripped from their innocence to where they will no longer be pure as they were. So they don't get a second chance. Why is he getting a second chance?
But I gotta piggyback with you ladies on holding the parents accountable. I agree with that, but with children, if you have kids, you know, they're working with their peers.
They are.
They're working with their parents. So you really working against each other. You can teach your kids the right way
Yeah.
on how to do things and teach them the facts of life and all this. But when they're around their peers, they learning a different perspective on how
Or they
to
learning
do
to
things
really
out here.
fend for themselves.
Yeah, so
And making
it's a
decisions
win-lose
on their own.
situation
I
So-
agree.
when you're going back with both. So parents, some parents got a lot of kids. So I gotta hold you accountable for what you're doing. Hold him, her, and all this stuff here. I can't watch all my kids while I'm watching the baby. I can come and monitor you on the computer, but I can't come and stand over you when I got other kids in the house as well.
So this is the solution I have, and then I'll let you talk. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I think that we need to put in security measures on our internet.
Yeah.
The parental,
The parental guidance.
Yeah,
right.
I
That
agree with
we
that.
also need to make sure we have that set up on the phones too.
Yeah.
Your
so that
TVs for the
TVs,
smart
everything.
And they
TV
do
people.
have that on
Everything.
TV. Yeah.
And to make sure that we mitigate that risk, that so that we can try to protect our children as much as possible. Plus, like you say, have the conversation.
yeah.
I just feel like, I know you guys heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. No parent is going to be able to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
So if you have people around your kid and stuff like that, everybody plays a part. And it's about your child being comfortable enough to come and talk to you if something happens. Like, some people aren't comfortable to say, hey, I'm on Facebook and this guy messaged me, because they feel like they can't talk to their parents, and that's also another issue as well. If your child can't talk to you, then you don't know what's going on, and you are left in the dark. They're going to run.
All right, y'all. I agree. And so, after these messages, we'll be right back.
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here in one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap, because we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And
Hi, I'm Michael Cowell, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye. Hi, I'm Michael.
And yes, back to Talk Show Divas, where we are on our Diva-ish. And listen, so now we're going to talk about the topic of the lady. I'll give that to Roselle. Let her talk about it. Come on, here we go.
Okay, so what we're going to briefly do is actually what you suggested. I think quickly just introduce our brands that we're representing. So I'm a co-founder for the Empress Mindset 2020, which is a not-for-profit organization. That's a global not-for-profit organization where we work with women and girls and to elevate them to the Empress Mindset, which is through 8 components, various components that changing the mindset of these girls. I also have my own business, which is a side hustle as a travel agent. And so if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook at Roselle Pompey. And thank you all. I appreciate that. And I'll pass that on to Lady D.
I am Lady D. I got several things going on. I am the president of a social club, 24 Karat Divas SC of Atlanta. I also have a catering business, M24 Karat Catering. And you can always reach me at m24karatcatering@yahoo.com. I also do a lot of charity work along with my ladies, and I'll pass it on to you.
All right, I am #Kamala, and I am the founder of Kamala Care, where life is a blessing, where I render CNA services of 20 years, as well as companionship and sitters. If you need anyone for your loved one, no, over here, that's where life is a blessing. As well as I have my own cosmetic makeup line at Makeup Things, where you can always get your makeup fix. And just know, and last but not least, Power 3 Enterprises LLC, where we renovate shape not only your face, and your space, okay? You can get your cabinets done, your granite, your quartz. Holler at me if you want a new look, all right? I'm going to pass it on to my girl over here, Shayla.
Hi, I don't have a business, but I have a few affiliations. I'm affiliated with Power X Energy Drinks.
Yes.
It's more healthy, less caffeine. And also, I'm affiliated with Carmen Smoothies. You know, having some health issues like blood pressure and things like that, I've always went to Carmen Smoothies, and she got me right, feeling energized. My day goes bright. And I also want to take the time out to say thank you, Kiara. She's the CEO of Carmen Smoothies. And thank you, Jerome Holt, for Power X energy drinks.
All right, and we also want to say you can always donate to the Talk Show Divas. You can go to Cash App, $TV 1061. As well, you can always make sure you give us your comments. We want to thank once again Kiera Smith for viewing with us live today. Also, we'd like to thank all of our viewers. Know that all of our viewers, we are very appreciative of you watching us and allowing us to, be with you for at least 1 hour. And also, we want to say, go out and vote. Make sure you vote. If you don't want to go out and vote, you can call the 1-800 number and you can get them to send it to you by mail. You don't even have to go outside of your house if you don't want. But November the 3rd, or you can do the free thing now. Make sure you vote. Whatever you do, vote, because your voice, just like our voice, means something.
And I want to send a shout out to Talk Show Kings.
Talk Show Kings, yes.
We
Talk
right
Show
back
Kings.
at you.
Right
Also,
back
I would
at
like
you.
to send a shout out to our #1 fan, Lady
#1.
Gigi.
Miss Gigi in the building as always.
So our final topic that we're going to talk about is the Karen situation out in California, where this woman picks up her phone and is recording another woman who's non-African American who was insulted, that she was calling her the N-word. And I mean, how do we get here? Why do people feel comfortable, first and foremost, to behave this way? Like, I'm minding my business, I'm doing my own thing, I'm on the beach, I'm enjoying my life. Why do you feel that you have to come over to me and try to degrade me, and do it by identifying my color, my race, and it's acceptable? What is going on in America today? I don't understand.
I think the problem is, like, racism has been, like, normalized for so long, not even towards, like, people of color, towards people, that are, like, Asian and
all
stuff.
nationalities,
People
right.
say things like ling ling and think it's okay. People say a
Oh,
lot
Miss
of things
Kim.
that
Right.
are not okay because it's normalized. That's what people do, and people are not holding people accountable for doing it.
But I didn't ask your opinion. Go do what you were doing. It's like
Exactly.
they're looking for ways to get involved
Like a
and entice.
gateway.
It's like they want
But
to
I
entice
gotta get on
you.
social media, so I gotta do something.
Right.
It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, social media plays a role now. It doesn't matter what subjects we're doing. We just got to get out there and get on there. It could be stupid stuff that don't make no sense, but I just got to get on social media.
And show them something, have them something.
there's
They have
something
to
to
have
say.
something.
Well, what people are doing now is exposing the behavior. So they're
Yeah.
recording it to say, okay, this is what I'm encountering, and this woman feels comfortable to call me the N-word. So I'm going to record it so that people can say, oh, you're over-exaggerating. No, this is what's happening. Look what happened in Central Park. The man is minding his own business, actually the Central Park was where she had her dog off the leash, and he was like, it's against the law to do that, right? And she felt that you don't have the authority to tell me this, so I'm going to curse you out and it just be totally disrespectful. And he's like, well, I'm going to record it because she's calling the police. And that's the problem too. They're calling the police, making false statements.
Yeah.
These
And I
people
agree.
need
I
to
agree.
be arrested for making false claims.
Exactly.
Because you're wasting
And
taxpayer dollars for the
right.
cops to come out and do a report. And you could ultimately get someone killed
Right.
because of the situation.
Yeah, but me personally, I think, when it comes to the word N-word, I don't see why they making it to the point to where it's even confrontational. And I'm saying it because most of us, when it comes to your friends, y'all are communicating in that way. And it's okay. I don't understand why it's okay for somebody close to you to say, hey, what's up, nigga? What's up, my nigga? But then you get with somebody else that maybe y'all don't communicate in that
Because
way.
they didn't set
And-
the tone for that. Like, they didn't set the tone. that's just like you talking to your friends and you say, hey, like, what's up, B, and what's up, this.
Right.
But when somebody else does it, the tones are completely different. You don't know this person. You're not comfortable with this person. You had never encountered this person. So for someone to come at you like that you don't even know.
No, but it's not even about a comment. It's about a standard.
It's
about a standard.
So
like if,
much.
at the end of the day,
that N word is said so much.
Right. I was gonna say
with
either
us,
you
with
do
us.
it or you don't.
Then
With
don't
us.
do it.
That's me.
It is said
Just
so
don't
much.
do it.
Don't do it.
Because that way people will know how to address you. Just don't do it. If that's not your thing, if you can't be like the Bible said, that lukewarm stuff. People have to know how to address you. You can't carry yourself a certain kind of way, but you expect for somebody to treat you like this.
But let me give you a scenario on that. What if I'm white, per se, and I was raised up by black people?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I heard as I grew up, because I grew up around African Americans.
And that's how they talk.
So in my mind, that's what I am now, African American, even though I'm white. So it's okay for me to say it.
Well, I think it is anyway.
Yeah, that's what I think, but nobody else does. You want to get offended to it, but that's how I was raised.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's not until you encounter someone else that was not upbrought like that, or does not communicate in that way. That's when you know, oh, this is wrong. But when you are around the ones that then they saturate themselves.
And you hear
You
it
have
almost
GGA,
every
but
song.
then you have ER.
Yeah.
So it's two different endings.
But they
towards
both
that.
really mean the
Yeah,
same
but
thing.
I wouldn't.
So just don't say it at all if that ain't how you want
Right.
to be addressed. That's how I feel. If you don't want to be dressed
Yeah.
like that,
then you don't say it either.
Don't
Right.
do it either way, with the ER or the A.
Yeah.
Just call me by name, and we all right.
It's just that it's this slang. Ugh.
Keep talking
After
to
these
something,
messages, we gone for the day, y'all. We won't be back.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
See you next Sunday at 4:30.
Across the world and beyond.